What's up guys, and welcome back to JTI. Today I want to be talking about what is MRT and should you take MRT. MRT is a food sensitivity test where they draw the blood out and send it to a lab and get tested with 170 different kinds of food and nutrition to see what your body is reactive to. If you head over to treeoflife.org and use the coupon code WorkingDad200, you're able to get $200 off, and the description is down below, so you could copy paste it and head over to the website to try it out. Now, after I placed an order, I got the box after 3 to 4 days. Inside the box there's a bunch of instructions, but the online email tells you exactly where to go. So as for me, I headed over to Concentra and took the blood draw, and it only costed $36. Here's a tip that you guys have to know. I didn't know about this. It says you have to get the blood drawn after 12 p.m. because it's gotta be shipped by FedEx all the way to the lab the same day. Now, I didn't know, so I made an appointment at 10:30 and went to the clinic, and I had to wait an hour and a half just to get my blood drawn. So guys, if you're gonna head over to a clinic, make sure you go there around like maybe 11:30 or 11:40 or something around there. When I got to the clinic, what they do is they take 2 big vials of blood from you. Just stick a needle. That's a lot of blood, and after the blood's drawn, they put it in the package and they just ship it out by FedEx, and they will ask you if you want to drop it off at FedEx or if they could just ship it out. And guys, they know what they're doing, so I highly recommend just having them do the whole process of drawing the blood to packaging and shipping it out to FedEx. They were able to ship it out the same day, and I got my test result by online first, and then the actual hard copy 7 to 10 days after. And when I got the results, I was pretty bummed out. This is the card that gets mailed out to you, and these are all the foods that I'm highly reactive to. Cauliflower and grapefruit, like I really don't care that I'm reactive to it. Banana, I eat banana like almost every day before I go, a bike ride or training. Beef, bok choy, that's like my favorite food when I put it in like hot pot. Caffeine, like what? Salmon, spinach, strawberry, sweet potato. From this, there are a couple questions that I do have. I'm gonna be talking to Jill and ask her a couple questions to find out exactly what is MRT and who it is good for and how long you should do it and all that. So guys, stay tuned for the interview with Jill. Before we get started, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Jill Busl. I'm a certified natural health doctor. So I have a background in science. I started in research in microbiology, went to pharmaceutical sales, realized the answer was not in drugs. Got certified as a doctor of natural health.
That's how you started MRT, to find out how it will benefit people by testing the blood, right?
Right, because every cell in our bodies came from something we ate. So food is crucial for us to know what's the healthiest food for us to eat. Because if we're putting healthy foods into our bodies, we're going to naturally produce healthy cells.
That totally makes sense. So I have a quick question, who should take MRT?
Really, anyone can benefit from it, because I don't know of anyone who doesn't have some kind of chronic inflammation in their body. It may be what they call subclinical, which means it's like a fire underneath the floor. It's there, but you don't really know it.
Oh.
Clinical means there are actual symptoms that are showing up. And because food is a huge component in inflammation, anybody can benefit from knowing what foods their body is reacting to.
Oh wow. My friend Tony, before he told me, I had no idea there was such thing as MRT. And then after I've done a little bit more research, I found out pro athletes do MRT to find out so they could perform better.
It tells you not only the foods you're reactive to, but it tells you what foods you're not reacting to. In the dietary care protocol, the LEAP program, or Lifestyle Eating and Performance program, yes, in that booklet, focuses on the foods that are green or low reactive, because we know those are the foods that are least likely to be contributing to the inflammation.
Oh.
So if the diet is focused on those foods, you're not continually feeding fuel into the fire of inflammation. The inflammation in the body calms down quite quickly, and the body does what it was designed to do, and that's heal itself.
Once I got the card to find out what I am reactive to, I kind of stopped eating those food, but I do feel a little bit better, and it's only been a week and a half. I don't know if it's my body telling me hey, you're doing good, or if it's a mental thing.
It's both. We see a lot of people who, once they remove those inflammatory foods, they start to feel better almost immediately. Sometimes there's an initial reaction when the body is responding to the lack of that you're usually eating that you're reactive to, and there can be a little bit of what we call a Herxheimer reaction, which is kind of like a detox. The body is trying to adjust to the fact that those foods aren't there anymore. And for the few days, some people don't feel as well. They may have headaches, body aches. They feel like they have a little bit of the flu. And that's just a reaction to the body not having those reactive foods there anymore. The best thing to do is, number one, drink a lot of water.
Okay.
That really helps with the detoxification process and to get out the foods that are causing the inflammation.
How long do patients need to stay on this diet? Is it like a short term or is it like lifelong?
Well, the protocol, which is included, is supposed to be really strict for the first 4 weeks. Ideally, the person focuses only on the green foods, the low reactive foods, builds their diet from scratch, tries to incorporate organic foods, grass-fed, farm-raised, the healthiest foods, if they can, for the first 4 weeks. And it adds in the lowest reactive foods a few at a time over 4 weeks. That's when we see the greatest difference in inflammation. So it's really recommended that the person stay on those foods for 4 weeks. After that, if you're feeling better, symptoms have calmed down, then you can start adding back in foods that you have eaten in the past but maybe weren't tested for, but you don't think you have a problem with. But what you want to do is add in one food every 3 days, because we know food sensitivity reactions can be delayed for up to 72 hours. So in order to make it easier to determine whether you're reactive to a food, we don't want to add more than one new food every 3 days. Food sensitivities aren't like allergies. Allergies tend to be lifelong. With food sensitivities, because what we're doing is the initial test tests living white blood cells. Those living white blood cells have a finite lifespan. Eventually, they'll be replaced by new white blood cells. By removing the reactive food, we give the reactive white blood cells a chance to die off. In 6 months, they should be replaced by new white blood cells that aren't reactive to those foods, provided we haven't been eating them. So that gives our body a chance to produce new non-reactive white blood cells. And that's why at some point you may be able to add back in reactive foods.
Wow, that's interesting. I did not know that. Wow.
Food sensitivities aren't forever.
Okay, that's good to know, because one of the sensitivity that I got that was on the list was beef. And before this test, I was eating beef maybe 4 or 5 times a week. And like, I love like, you know, grilling barbecue to like sous vide to like everything. I love barbecue. And as soon as I got the test, I'm like, beef? And so I've been eating only like chicken and pork, turkey, and like those like alternative foods. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why I do feel a little better, because like without knowing, I think it was on your website that people are so used to that feeling of inflammation that they don't know that it's a inflammation causing, I think. And so by not eating it, you will see a difference.
Yes, we get used to feeling bad, and we don't know what it is to feel good because we felt bad for so long. And we also know that people tend to be reactive to the foods they eat most frequently. The body craves variety, and when we continue to eat the same foods over and over again, in your case, say beef, or someone eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day for lunch for years and years, the body wants variety, and it loses what we call oral tolerance to the food. It no longer tolerates the food as something friendly. It starts to see the food as an enemy, and that's when it starts releasing chemical mediators. Those mediators are released from the white blood cells in the body, and they're what cause the damage that result in the chronic inflammation people have.
That's a stunning information right there, because I didn't know like you had to eat variety of food, because most people, they just tend to eat what they like and what they're used to.
Yes, exactly. Over time, we learn to listen to our body, and our body will tell us what we need. It'll also tell us what we shouldn't be eating.
From the list, like there are foods, like you know how you said eat organic and like don't try to eat out or anything like that, then you might be missing out on certain nutrition, like for example like certain vitamins and all that. So should you be taking like dietary pills while you're on the LEAP program?
The recommendation for the first 4 weeks is to not take any supplements, because they haven't been tested for the most part. We don't know if you're reactive to it, and it's unlikely that in 4 weeks you're going to develop a deficiency and have a problem with a vitamin or a mineral deficiency, unless you already have it before you take the test, which also is an issue. But those 4 weeks, it's really not necessary to take supplements.
can a participant only eat one meal a day, and is that okay?
They can, if they're used to doing that. Obviously, the recommendation is to kind of fuel your body throughout the day. But I know some people, just for a variety of reasons, they're used to eating only one meal. They don't have time to eat. It's possible to eat one meal a day.
Last but not least, my most important question I had that was very like I didn't understand was, on the test it says I could drink coffee and tea. So I was happy. I love coffee and tea. But the thing is, it says I'm reactive, like the yellow was on caffeine. So that kind of baffled me. Like, so do I have to only drink decaf coffee? Or but at the same time, there's no like decaf tea. Like, does that mean like I should not be like maybe taking protein bars that has like caffeine in it, like artificial caffeine? Like, so that was one of my questions for you.
That's a good question. Well, caffeine is only one component of tea and coffee. What we're doing in the MRT is looking at how your body reacts to pure caffeine. If you were to just drink or eat pure caffeine, you're moderately reactive to it. You may consume in caffeinated coffee or caffeinated tea enough caffeine to provoke a reaction. So the rule of thumb there is to drink decaf if you can find it. If you can't, modify your intake so you're not taking in so much caffeine that you provoke a reaction.
Got it. So when I go to Starbucks, don't order a 30. So get myself
exactly
the smallest
don't
one.
overdo it.
All right, well, thank you, Jill, for your time, and it was wonderful. I learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure our viewers learned a lot too. And seriously, I'm gonna follow this to the teeth for the next 4 weeks and see the biggest difference, and we'll talk again soon.
I'll be glad to help with anything you need.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
Bye-bye. That interview with Jill was pretty crazy. I mean, she answered a lot of questions that I had, and I'm very satisfied with it. And all I gotta do is stay on my diet and don't eat the foods that I'm reactive to. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Except not eating beef is gonna be the hardest part. I'm gonna try my best to stay on the diet for the next 4 weeks and tell you guys and how much difference it makes for me, so you guys could try out and see how beneficial it is also for you. So guys, don't forget, we do have the $200 off discount code in the description, so don't forget that. And guys, if you guys liked the video, make sure you like, share, and comment. And overall, like, I want to find out if you tried it, and if you've done it before, write down on the comment below how you felt too. So guys, thanks for watching the JTI, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.